It's easy to embrace hopelessness when things seem insurmountable. It's actually just a matter of time until all of the elements come together for things to be all right. I mean, I believe that most difficult situations will resolve themselves if you are persistent and if you don't give up entirely.
Faith is a belief in things that you cannot see. And sometimes when you can't see no way, that's when you really got to have faith, because that's what it is. If you could see it, you wouldn't have to have faith. So all you got to do, then you wouldn't need faith. All you need is patience. It took me 28 years to get on TV, but it happened at an appointed time. I just never gave up the faith. I kept going because I didn't know how to quit. You can't quit, man. You got to stay with it. It's somebody having it way harder than you, and they didn't give up. You have to believe when you don't see no way how. You have to buckle down and keep believing.
Write down at least 5 reasons on why you deserve your dream, on why you won't give up, what's going to make you unstoppable, why you must be unreasonable, because logical, practical thinking says you can't do it today. But if you want to produce unreasonable results in your life, like living your dream and taking charge of your destiny, you've got to be an unreasonable person. If you know why you're doing something, when the hard times come, and they're going to come, when the disappointments and the rejections come, and they're going to come by the truckloads, your reasons will be your rod and staff to comfort you, to pick you up.
And the truth is that our dreams are always there, and they don't ever give up on us. We give up on them. But here's the secret. If you just force yourself to take a couple small steps, there's always a surprise. There's always a surprise waiting if you take a step off the porch. There's a starry sky. There's a great new business venture. There's the marriage and the juicy sex partner that you wanted. There's whatever you could possibly imagine. So I want you to think about, what are your dreams?
I don't care how dark it look for you. I don't care what they done said to you. I don't care what the verdict is. I don't care what the haters say.
I think the biggest disability that we have as human beings is unbelief.
Just in there. My cookie jar has every single failure and success of my life. And I think I'm the hardest guy in the world. You gotta believe that. You gotta believe you are something. I will, in my mind, reach into my cookie jar, and sometimes you forget how hard you are in times of need. Because you're stressed. But you forget, I'm a Navy SEAL, I'm a Ranger, I'm this and that, but you forget all that because your life sucks. I calm down, take that 1 second, get control of my life, reach in the cookie jar. Wow, you got caught in your whole life and you're now the only person in history to do this, and this. Put it back in the cookie jar, reset my mind. You have to remind yourself of how badass you really are in times of need. That's the fucking cookie jar.
That's one temptation, right? That's the temptation of kind of faithless hopelessness. Anomie, you might say, existential angst that you allow to pervade yourself. And I'm not saying you won't have your reasons, because you will. I'm saying that the reasons don't justify the conclusion, and they certainly don't justify the conclusion.
Everybody kept coming up to me and saying, okay, you're going to have stages of grief when you retire. You're going to go into a state of depression when you retire. And those are all normal. And then my competitiveness inside was like, no, I'm gonna do something in the next 20 years that is better than these last 20. You might not understand that. I'm doing that. So the competitiveness kicks in.
One of the first qualities of a warrior is courage. You want to live your life from now on with courage. That most people take their talents, abilities, and skills to the grave with them because of lack of courage. And courage is not the lack of fear. Courage is the willingness to do what it is you need to do, what you are called to do, in spite of the fear. You don't want to live a fear-driven life.
Do you know, man, that you can actually mess your life completely up? You can jack it all the way up, and you can turn around and get it right. You have a great life in front of you. But your great life is in front of you. It's not behind you.
When you get to the edge Your brain will always tell you, step back. It's always gonna tell you to step back because you can fall. Because before you fell, the last time you did this, you saw someone else fail, you could hurt, you could be off work. It's gonna tell you, it's designed to keep you safe. So you have to be willing to play between your brain and your soul. And on some days, you gotta just listen to your soul. And you gotta say, I'm gonna leap, I'm gonna get to the edge. Most people are at the edge, and you're standing at the edge, and you're watching everyone else fly.
If you can just keep believing, when nothing in you is working, when all your external forces have given way, if you can just manage to somehow keep hoping, just hope. You ain't even really got to believe. All you got to do is hope. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. You just got to hope. Sometimes you ain't strong enough to believe, but you can always be strong enough to just hope.
I'm going to fight. I'm going to work. I'm going to press toward. I'm going to learn. I'm going to do everything in my power. Every single day, I'm going to do everything in my power to become a victor and not a victim.
Every victorious person has felt it, the urge to quit. Don't you give up on your dream. I don't care if you don't have the money, and you don't have the help, and you don't have the family for it, and you don't have the background for it, and you don't have the friends for it. Don't you give up on your dream. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. It may take you twice as long. You may have to take courses and classes. You might not read as fast. You might not move as quick. You might not have as much, but don't you quit. Don't you quit. Don't you quit. You do make a difference.
You see, muscle is created by repeatedly lifting things that have been designed to weigh us down. So when your shoulders feel heavy, stand up straight, lift your chin. Hell, call it exercise. Remember that life is a gym membership with a really complicated cancellation policy. Remember that you will survive. Remember, things could be worse. Remember, we are never, ever given anything that we can't handle. When the world crumbles around you, you have to look at the wreckage and then build a new one out of all the pieces that are still here. Remember, you are still here. The human heart beats approximately 4,000 times per hour, and each pulse, each throb, each palpitation is a trophy engraved with the words, you are still alive. You are still alive. Act like it.